I have always believed silence is strength. Not the loud kind that fills rooms, but the quiet kind that holds steady when others panic. I learned early that words can betray you faster than actions. So I listened more than I spoke, watched more than I reacted, and trusted that staying calm meant staying safe. Emily once told me that was what she loved about me. "You don't judge," she said one night, sitting across from me at the small kitchen table. "You just understand." "I try," I replied. "Someone has to." She smiled like I had just saved her. That smile became my weakness. Emily was ambition wrapped in charm. She talked fast, dreamed big, and moved like the world owed her something. I admired that about her. When she said she wanted to start her own business, I didn't laugh. When she said she needed money, I didn't ask why. When she messed up, I didn't ask questions. "I'll fix it," I told her more times than I can count. "You always do," she said softly. "That's why I trust you." I thought trust worked both ways. Ryan didn't agree. Ryan had been my best friend since college, the kind of guy who spoke his mind even when it made people uncomfortable. He noticed things I ignored. "You let people walk all over you," he said one afternoon as we sat in his car, watching rain hit the windshield. "I don't," I replied. "I choose my battles." Ryan snorted. "You avoid them. There's a difference." "I'm not afraid," I said. "I know," he answered. "That's the problem. You think silence protects you. It doesn't. It makes people think you're blind." I laughed it off. "You worry too much." "I worry because I've seen this before," he said. "Especially with Emily." I stiffened. "Don't start." "I'm serious," Ryan continued. "She leans on you too hard. You clean up her messes, pay her debts, defend her when she's wrong. At some point, she stops respecting that." "She respects me," I said quickly. Ryan looked at me for a long moment. "I hope you're right." I believed I was. That night, Emily came home late. Later than usual. Her heels clicked across the floor, sharp and rushed. "You're late," I said. "Work ran long," she replied without looking at me. "Everything okay?" "Yeah. Fine." Her phone buzzed. She turned it face down instantly. I noticed. I pretended I didn't. "Did you eat?" I asked. "No. I'm not hungry." She went straight to the bedroom and shut the door. No kiss. No smile. No explanation. I stood there, staring at the closed door, telling myself not to overthink. The next few days felt different. Subtle but wrong. She started taking calls outside. She laughed at messages she didn't show me. When I asked simple questions, she answered with short words. "You okay?" I asked one morning. I said yes, she snapped. I raised my hands. "All right. I was just asking." "Stop interrogating me," she said. That word stung. Interrogating. Later, Ryan called me. "You sound tired," he said. "I'm fine." "You always say that." I hesitated, then sighed. "Emily's just stressed." "Is she hiding things from you?" "No," I said too quickly. "Why would she?" Ryan was quiet for a second. "Listen to yourself." "I trust her," I said firmly. "Trust isn't blindness," he replied. "It's awareness without fear." "I don't want to control her," I said. "I don't want to be that guy." "No one's asking you to control her," Ryan said. "Just don't disappear inside your silence." I changed the subject. That evening, Emily sat on the couch scrolling through her phone, her body angled away from me. "Who keeps texting you?" I asked casually. "No one," she said. It buzzed 3 times. She sighed loudly. "Do you really want to do this?" "Do what?" "This," she said, waving her phone. "The insecurity thing." I felt heat rise in my chest, but my voice stayed calm. "I'm not insecure. I'm just asking." "Then stop asking," she snapped. "I have enough pressure already." I nodded. "Okay." She relaxed instantly like she had won something. Later that night, lying beside her, I stared at the ceiling. My thoughts felt loud even though I made no sound. Something was off. I knew it. But I pushed the feeling down the same way I always did. Trust means patience, I told myself. Trust means giving space. Trust means believing even when doubt whispers. I didn't realize then that trust without boundaries isn't strength. It's permission. I wasn't trying to listen. That's what I keep telling myself. I was just standing outside the conference room, waiting for Emily to finish her call so we could leave together. The door was slightly open. Her voice slipped through before I could step away. "He's safe," she said, laughing softly. "That's why I stayed." My chest tightened. I froze. "I mean it," she continued. "He never questions me. He never pushes back. Easy to control." Someone else laughed. A man. Daniel. My mind rejected it before my ears could catch up. This isn't about me, I thought. There has to be another explanation. And the files? Daniel asked. I sent everything, Emily replied. He trusted me with all of it. I felt dizzy. Trusted me. All of it. That must make your job easier, Daniel said. You have no idea, she replied. Silence is such a gift when you know how to use it. I stepped back before they saw me. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. Safe, easy, controlled. Every word cut deeper than the last. I waited until she came out. There you are, she said brightly. Ready to go? I stared at her. How long? She blinked. How long what? How long have you been lying to me? Her smile faded. What are you talking about? Daniel, I said. The files. Me. Her eyes hardened instantly. You were listening? So it's true, I said. You stayed with me because I was convenient. She crossed her arms. You're overreacting. Answer me, I said quietly. She sighed. You make everything dramatic. I heard you, I said. Every word. Fine, she snapped. Yes, you were safe. You were stable. I needed that. You used me, I said. I survived, she replied. There's a difference. What about Daniel? I asked. You shared my work with him. He knows how to appreciate my help, she said. Unlike you. That work was confidential, I said. And, she replied. It's not like you were using it anyway. I felt something inside me crack. I trusted you, I said. She laughed once, sharp and cold. That's on you. I stared at her, searching for guilt, for shame, for anything that looked like regret. You don't even feel bad, I said. Why should I? She asked. You chose to be quiet. You chose to let me lead. I supported you, I said. I defended you. I covered for you. No one asked you to be a hero, she said. You liked feeling needed. That wasn't a game to me, I said. It was to me, she replied. And you were winning until now. I shook my head slowly. You don't get to justify this. I do, she said. Because you never stopped me. You never said no. So silence is permission? I asked. In the real world, she said, yes. I felt anger rise, but my voice stayed steady. You betrayed me. She shrugged. I did what I had to do. For what? I asked. Power? For control, she said honestly. Something you never wanted. I laughed quietly. You think I didn't want control? She rolled her eyes. You wouldn't even fight for it. That's because I thought we were a team, I said. Her expression softened for half a second, then disappeared. Teams require equals. That was it. The last thread snapped. I'm done explaining myself, I said. She smirked. There it is. The dramatic exit. I won't protect you anymore, I said. She waved her hand. I don't need you. Good, I replied. Because you won't have me. She stepped closer. You think this changes anything? It changes me, I said. You'll calm down, she said. You always do. I looked at her, really looked at her, and felt nothing but clarity. No, I said. I won't. She scoffed. You're still the same quiet man. I met her eyes. Quiet doesn't mean weak. She hesitated. Just for a moment. I turned away without another word. For the first time, I didn't justify my silence. I let it speak for me. Silence felt different after that day. It wasn't peaceful. It was heavy like air before a storm that never ends. I stopped sleeping. When I closed my eyes, Emily's voice came back. Safe. Easy to control. Those words looped in my head every night. I lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying every conversation we ever had. Every moment I stayed calm when I should have asked questions. Every time I chose understanding over clarity. You did this, I whispered to myself one night. You let this happen. At work I barely spoke. Not because I was afraid, but because words felt pointless. People noticed. Sophia noticed first. She stopped by my desk with a coffee and said, You haven't touched yours. I forgot, I replied. That's new, she said gently. I'm just tired. She nodded like she didn't fully believe me, but she didn't push. She pulled up a chair instead. You don't have to explain anything, she said. I just wanted you to know I see it. See what? That something broke, she answered. I swallowed. I'm fine. I didn't say you weren't, she replied. I said I see it. Her calm unsettled me more than Emily's anger ever had. Later that day my phone buzzed. Emily, we need to talk. I locked the screen without replying. That night another message came. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I read it twice. Then I put the phone face down. The next morning Sophia asked, "Did you sleep?" "No." "Do you want to talk?" "No." She smiled faintly. "That's okay." At lunch she sat across from me anyway. "You used to defend everyone," she said. "Now you don't defend yourself at all." "I'm not defending her anymore," I said. "I wasn't talking about her," she replied. That hit harder than I expected. Emily called that evening. I watched the phone ring until it stopped. Another call. Then another. I didn't answer. For the first time, my silence wasn't confusion. It was choice. The nights were still brutal. I'd sit on the edge of the bed and whisper arguments that were already over. "You should have told me. I trusted you. You don't get to rewrite what you did." The words stayed in my mouth. I didn't send them. At work, Daniel avoided me. That alone told me everything I needed to know. Sophia noticed that too. "You're not chasing explanations," she said one afternoon. "I'm done chasing," I replied. She nodded. "That's growth." "I don't feel stronger," I said. "I feel empty." "Awareness comes before strength," she replied. "Pain sharpens it." Emily showed up outside my apartment 3 days later. I opened the door and froze. "We need to talk," she said. "No," I replied. She blinked. "You don't get to shut me out." "I do," I said calmly. "That's the point." "You're punishing me," she said. "I'm protecting myself," I answered. She scoffed. "You think ignoring me hurts me?" "Yes," I said honestly. "I think it does." Her jaw tightened. "Say something." "Yell." "Accuse me." I shook my head. "I'm done explaining." She stepped closer. "This isn't like you." "That's why it works," I replied. Her voice cracked. "You're really leaving." "I already did," I said. She stood there for a long moment, waiting for me to soften. I didn't. She left without another word. The next day, Sophia looked at me and said, "You look lighter." "I still hurt," I replied. "I know," she said. "But you're standing upright now." I thought about that on the walk home. Silence had always been my shield. Before, it was something others used against me. Now it was mine again. Emily texted one last time. "I miss you." I typed nothing. I realized then that walking away didn't just hurt her. It freed me. The storm hadn't passed yet, but I wasn't lost in it anymore. For the first time, my silence wasn't empty. It was intentional. I didn't make a speech. I didn't warn anyone. I just stopped reacting. That was the choice. Ryan noticed before anyone else. "You're quiet again," he said, sitting across from me at the bar. "But not the same quiet." "I never stopped being quiet," I replied. He studied me. "No. Before you were absorbing punches. Now you're counting them." I took a sip of water. "I'm done swinging back blindly." "So what are you doing?" he asked. "Because I know that look." "I'm rebuilding," I said. Silently. Ryan leaned back. "That sounds dangerous." "It's controlled," I replied. "There's a difference." At work, I stopped explaining my ideas. I started documenting everything. Emails. Files. Conversations. I watched Daniel closely without letting him see me watching. Sophia caught on. "You're staying late," she said one evening. "I have things to finish." "You always finished your work before," she replied. "I wasn't working for myself before," I said. She nodded slowly. "You're planning." "Yes." "For what?" she asked. "For peace," I replied. "Or justice. I haven't decided which one comes first." She didn't smile. "Be careful. Those two don't always walk together." Daniel walked past my desk the next morning and said, "Everything good?" "Perfect," I replied. He hesitated. "You sure?" I met his eyes. "Why wouldn't it be?" He laughed nervously and moved on. Ryan called me that night. "You digging?" he asked. "I'm observing." "That's digging," he said. "I'm not exposing him," I replied. "Not yet." "Why not?" Ryan asked. "He stabbed you in the back." "So did Emily," I said. "Look what reacting did for me." Ryan was quiet for a moment. "You're choosing restraint." "I'm choosing control," I said. "You want revenge," he said plainly. "I want balance," I replied. "If revenge comes with it, so be it." Over the next weeks, patterns emerged. Daniel cutting corners. Daniel taking credit. Daniel pushing blame downward. I didn't interrupt. I saved everything. Sophia watched me work one night and said, "You're calmer than you should be." "I've already burned," I replied. "Fire doesn't scare me anymore." Emily tried again. A call. A voicemail. "I know you're angry," her voice said. "But this silence feels cruel." I deleted it. Ryan asked, "You ever feel bad ignoring her?" "No," I said. "I feel clear." "That's colder than I expected," he replied. "It's not cold," I said. "It's contained." One afternoon, Daniel slipped up. He forwarded an email he shouldn't have. I stared at the screen, heart steady. "There it is," I whispered. Sophia stood behind me. "You found something." "Yes." "Are you going to report him?" she asked. "Not yet." She frowned. "Why wait?" "Because timing matters," I said. "Truth is loud only when people are ready to hear it." Ryan warned me later, "Don't lose yourself playing chess with snakes." "I'm not playing," I replied. "I'm ending the game." "And if it costs you peace?" he asked. "Then I'll know I chose justice," I said. "But I won't choose chaos." One night, alone in my apartment, I looked at myself in the mirror. "You could burn them," I said quietly. "Right now." My reflection didn't answer. "But you could also walk away stronger," I continued. Unshaken. That was the struggle. Power versus peace. Exposure versus elevation. I chose elevation. The next day Daniel asked, "You've been quiet lately. Everything okay between us?" "Yes," I said calmly. "Why?" "Just checking," he replied. I smiled. I appreciate concern. He didn't know I had copies. He didn't know I had leverage. He didn't know I had already won the most important battle. I had stopped needing them to fall for me to rise. Ryan raised his glass when I told him. "So you're not announcing anything," he said. "You're just becoming untouchable." "That's the plan," I replied. He nodded. "That's real power." For the first time since everything broke, I felt steady. I wasn't reacting anymore. I was deciding. And that was the choice I never announced. Karma didn't arrive loudly. It whispered first. Daniel's confidence started cracking before anyone said a word. He walked faster. Talked more. Smiled too hard. Sophia leaned against my desk one morning and said, "He's nervous." "He should be," I replied. "You didn't report him," she said. "So why is he unraveling?" "Because lies collapse under their own weight," I said. I just stopped holding the structure. She watched me for a second. "You're not enjoying this." "No," I said honestly. "I'm understanding it." At the weekly meeting, Daniel presented numbers that didn't align. A manager interrupted him. "Can you explain this gap?" Daniel stammered. "It's still being processed." Silence followed. Not mine. Everyone else's. After the meeting, a coworker pulled me aside. "You worked on that project, right?" he asked. "Yes," I replied. "Can you review Daniel's data?" he said. "Management wants a second look." "Of course," I said calmly. Sophia smiled faintly when he walked away. "They're coming to you now." "I didn't ask them to," I said. "That's the point," she replied. "Emily called that night." I didn't answer. She texted instead. "Daniel's in trouble. They're blaming me too." I stared at the message and set the phone down. Sophia noticed my silence the next day. "You're not curious?" she asked. "I already know," I replied. "Does it hurt?" she asked. "It did," I said. "Now it doesn't." Daniel confronted me by the elevators. "You're reviewing my work," he said. "Yes." "Why?" he asked. "Because I was asked." He lowered his voice. "You could help me." I met his eyes. "You never helped me." His jaw tightened. "This doesn't have to get ugly." "It already is," I replied. "I'm just not making noise." He walked away without another word. Sophia said later, "You didn't threaten him." "I didn't need to," I said. At lunch, people started sitting near me, asking my opinion, waiting for my reaction. "You've changed," one of them said. "I stopped pretending," I replied. Emily showed up at the office unannounced. "I need to talk," she said, her voice strained. "No," I replied. She grabbed my arm. "Please." I gently pulled away. "Let go." Her eyes filled. "Everything is falling apart." "You built it that way," I said. "I didn't know it would go this far," she whispered. "I did," I replied. "That's why I walked away." She shook her head. "You're punishing me." "I'm letting consequences speak," I said. She laughed bitterly. "You're enjoying this." "No," I said quietly. "I'm free from it." She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. "You're not the man I knew," she said. "That man didn't know himself," I replied. She left without another plea. Sophia watched from a distance. "You okay?" she asked afterward. "Yes." "You didn't gloat," she said. "I didn't need to," I replied. Daniel's audit came back a week later. Management called him in. He didn't come out smiling. By the end of the day, the rumors spread. Sophia leaned over and whispered, "It's done." I exhaled slowly. "Good. You feel nothing?" she asked. "I feel grounded," I said. She nodded. "That's strength." Emily sent one last message that night. "I thought your silence meant you didn't care." I typed a reply, then deleted it. Sophia asked me later, "Do you believe in karma?" "I believe in patterns," I said. "And accountability." She smiled. "You've become someone people listen to." "I didn't raise my voice," I replied. "That's why," she said. As I walked through the office, conversations stopped. Heads turned. Not in fear. In respect. I realized something then. Strength doesn't announce itself. It doesn't argue. It doesn't chase closure. It simply stands firm and lets the world adjust. Emily learned that too late. Daniel learned it publicly. I learned it quietly. And for the first time, my silence wasn't just protection. It was authority. Emily found me when I wasn't hiding anymore. "I need to talk to you," she said, her voice unsteady. I looked at her and replied, "You're already talking." She swallowed. "Please. Just listen." "I've been listening for a long time," I said calmly. Her hand shook. "I messed up." "Yes," I said. "You did." "I didn't think it would destroy everything," she said. "I never meant to hurt you." "I know," I replied. "That's what scares me." She frowned. "What do you mean?" "You didn't plan to hurt me," I said. "You just didn't care if you did." Tears filled her eyes. "That's not fair." "It's accurate," I replied. She stepped closer. "Daniel ruined everything." "No," I said quietly. "You helped him." She flinched. I was confused. "You were calculating," I said. "There's a difference." She shook her head. "I loved you." "You loved the safety," I replied. "Not the cost." Her voice cracked. "Say something angry. Yell at me." I shook my head. "Anger would mean I still need something from you." She stared at me, breathing unevenly. "So this is it?" "This is the truth," I said. She whispered, "Daniel lost his job." "I know," I replied. "They're investigating everything," she said. "People won't even look at me." "I know," I said again. "You planned this?" she accused softly. "No," I replied. "I prepared for myself." "That's the same thing," she said. "It isn't," I replied. I didn't push. I stepped aside. She covered her face. "I feel humiliated." "I felt invisible," I said. "For a long time." She looked up. "Why didn't you stop me?" "Because I trusted you," I replied. "And because stopping you would have taught you nothing." She laughed bitterly. "So this is karma." "This is consequence," I said. "Karma implies intention." She stepped back. "Do you feel satisfied?" I considered the question. "No." She blinked. "Then why stay so calm?" "Because chaos already took enough from me," I said. She whispered, "I don't recognize you." "I do," I replied. "I just stopped shrinking." Her shoulders sagged. "Can we start over?" "No," I said gently. "Why not?" she begged. "I'm different now." "So am I," I replied. She clenched her fists. "You're punishing me." "I'm protecting myself," I said. "Still." She shook her head. "You're cold." "I'm clear," I replied. Silence stretched between us. She was the one who broke it. "I lost everything," she said. "You lost access to me," I replied. "That's not the same thing." Her eyes widened. "You think you're better than me now?" "No," I said. "I think I'm better to myself." She laughed weakly. "That hurts more than if you hated me." "I don't hate you," I replied. "I understand you." She looked down. "Daniel thought you were weak." "So did you," I said. She nodded slowly. "We were wrong." "Yes," I replied. She wiped her tears. "I wish you had fought for us." "I did," I said. "Just not at the end." She took a shaky breath. "So what now?" "Now," I said, "you live with what you chose." She waited, hoping for more. "There's nothing else," I said. She turned to leave, then stopped. "You really changed." I nodded. Betrayal does that. She paused. Do you forgive me? I thought carefully. Forgiveness doesn't mean access. She nodded, defeated. Goodbye. Goodbye, I replied. She walked away without looking back. Later that day, Sophia asked me, was it hard? Yes, I said. Do you regret not hurting her back? She asked. No, I replied. I regret wasting time. She smiled softly. You handled it with grace. I handled it with honesty, I said. Daniel's name trended online that evening. Articles, opinions, speculation. Sophia showed me her phone. It's everywhere. I won't read it, I replied. Why not? She asked. Because watching someone fall doesn't build you, I said. Standing after does. She nodded. You've outgrown revenge. I outgrew the need for it, I replied. That night, alone, I felt something unexpected. Not joy. Relief. Revenge would have been loud. Growth was quiet. And this time when I spoke, she finally heard me. Even though I never raised my voice. I didn't disappear. I became unreachable. There's a difference. Ryan figured it out over coffee. You say no now, he said, staring at me like I was someone new. I always could, I replied. I just didn't. He laughed. I never thought I'd see the day. Neither did I said. You don't explain yourself anymore, he added. No long justifications. No guilt. I don't owe clarity to people who benefited from my confusion, I replied. Ryan shook his head. That's cold. No, I said. That's clean. At work, I declined projects that drained me. When asked why, I said, I'm unavailable. That was it. No apology. No excuse. Sophia noticed immediately. You're setting walls, she said one evening as we walked out together. Boundaries, I corrected. Sometimes those look the same, she replied. Walls keep people out, I said. Boundaries keep me intact. She studied my face. Have you healed or have you hardened? The question stayed with me. Ryan called that night. You remember when I warned you about being too quiet? He asked. Yes. I was wrong about one thing, he said. I thought silence was your weakness. And now? I asked. And now I think it's your weapon, he replied. I don't want weapons, I said. I want peace. You sure? He asked. Because power looks good on you. Power without peace is just noise, I replied. Sophia challenged me again a few days later. You don't let people get close anymore, she said. I let the right ones close, I replied. How do you decide who those are? She asked. I watch how they react to my boundaries, I said. That tells me everything. She nodded slowly. And if no one passes? Then I stay alone, I replied. And that's okay. She smiled faintly. That answer used to scare you. It used to, I said. Now it comforts me. That night, lying in bed, I replayed old memories. Not with pain, but with clarity. Moments where I should have spoken. Moments where I stayed quiet out of fear. I realized something then. Healing doesn't mean erasing the past. It means learning from it without bleeding again. Sophia asked me over lunch, do you ever miss who you were? I miss the intention, I replied. Not the sacrifice. That version of you was kind, she said. So am I replied. I'm just not careless anymore. She leaned back. That's maturity. Ryan tested it unintentionally. Can you help me move this weekend? He asked. No, I replied. He blinked. Oh, okay. I smiled. See? World didn't end. He laughed. You're ruthless. I'm rested, I replied. Emily didn't reach out again. And for the first time, that didn't feel like closure was missing. Closure isn't a conversation. It's a decision. Sophia asked me one final question that week. If she came back tomorrow, completely changed, what would you do? I answered without hesitation. Wish her well from a distance. Why? She asked. Because healing taught me something, I said. Peace requires consistency. She nodded. You've chosen yourself. Yes, I replied. Finally. At work, a junior colleague asked me, how do you stay so calm? I said, I stopped letting urgency control me. They smiled. I want that. It comes with loss, I replied. But it's worth it. Ryan raised a glass that night. To the man who stopped absorbing damage, he said. And started filtering access, I added. Sophia smiled. You're not unreachable to everyone. No, I replied. Just to chaos. Later, alone, I sat in silence. Not the old silence filled with doubt. This one was steady, protective. I realized the silence I once used to endure pain had evolved. Now it guarded my peace. I didn't need to prove anything. I didn't need to explain myself. I didn't need to be understood by everyone. I was healed enough to choose myself, and strong enough to stay unreachable. I stared at my phone without touching it. Emily's message glowed on the screen. I never should have hurt you. Can we talk? I didn't reply. Not because I hated her. Not because I was bitter. Because I had nothing left to prove. I whispered to myself, that was my final line. Ryan called that evening. You're not responding, he said. I don't need to, I replied. Feels good, he asked. Yes, I said slowly. More than anything. Even after all this, he asked. I've faced everything, I said. Her betrayal, Daniel's lies, myself. You mean the old you? He asked. Yes, I replied. The me who tolerated too much, who explained too much, who stayed quiet thinking it was strength. He was quiet for a moment. And now, I said, I know strength isn't measured by endurance alone. It's measured how? He asked. By control, I said. By choosing when to speak, when to act, and when to walk away. The city outside my window felt calmer than it had in months. Sophia stopped by that night. You've changed, she said softly. I've learned, I replied. You're not the man who let others dictate his life anymore, she observed. No, I said. I'm the man who defines it himself. She smiled faintly. And Emily? I looked down at the glowing screen again. She's part of the past. I accept it, but I don't chase it. Not even a reply? She asked. No, I said. Because replies don't heal. Acceptance does. I put the phone face down. I thought about every choice I made, every silence I held, every boundary I set. I admitted to myself, I wasn't perfect. I had trusted blindly, defended those who didn't deserve it, and ignored warning signs. But I had grown. I had stopped explaining myself. I had stopped shrinking. I had learned that true justice doesn't scream, it simply exists. I whispered to the empty apartment, I won't shrink again. The words felt good, solid, permanent. I walked to the mirror and stared at my reflection. The lines on my face weren't just from stress. They were from endurance, from struggle, from survival. You're not who you were, I said aloud. And that's enough. I thought of Emily. Not with anger, not with longing, but with clarity. She made her choices. I made mine. No more explanations. No more reactions. I sat on the edge of the bed, letting silence wrap around me. The silence that used to hide pain now protected peace. I thought of Daniel, of Ryan, of Sophia, of every lesson I had ignored before. I'm done listening to chaos, I whispered. I realized justice had arrived quietly. Not as punishment, not as spectacle, not as drama, but as inevitability. The consequences had fallen. She had lost trust. Daniel had lost his credibility. I had gained myself. I smiled faintly. I didn't need revenge, I said aloud. I only needed growth. The phone buzzed again. Another message from Emily. Please, can we start over? I didn't look at it. I didn't need to. I had already spoken my final line. I whispered to myself one last time. I choose me. Always me. No explanations. No apologies. No shrinking. The city lights outside blurred through the window. My chest felt lighter than it had in years. I realized then that freedom isn't loud. It's quiet. It's steady. It's inevitable. And for the first time in a long time, I felt completely, undeniably free. I didn't need to fight anymore. I didn't need to prove anything. I just existed. Strong. Self-aware. Oh, that was my final line. And it would never be crossed.